everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's snowing outside, there's a Christmas tree. I'm feeling pretty festive, but it also means that it is nearly the end of year one and I just do not know where the year has gone. So I had this genius idea to do what's probably going to turn into a very overexcitable vlog about my top 10 moments of my first year as a student nurse. They're moments which have been memorable, exciting, sometimes challenging, but all moments which have shaped this year into what it's turned out to be. So stick around because here are my top 10 moments of year one. Hashtag Team Duracell. I remember right at the start of this course, probably the first lecture actually, being told that the people who make friends on this course are more likely to succeed. And I absolutely believe that there is some truth in that. At times this year, I just do not know what I would have done without the group of friends that I have surrounded myself with. They've made me laugh, they've made me howl with laughter, let's be accurate. But they've also supported me and encouraged me when I really needed it the most. And hey, it's great to have a group of friends who are really supportive with my newfound obsession for coffee. But seriously speaking, I am so thankful for them, and I have absolutely adored getting to know them these past 12 months. So thank you guys. Thank you for being there for me, supporting me and encouraging me. I know that I have made friends for life, and that is exactly the reason why you're making my top 10. This was such a memorable moment, despite being so early on in the year. I remember being on the corridor with my very overexcitable group of friends, signing my name on the dotted line, getting home and literally ripping the packages open like a Christmas present, appropriate time of year, because I just could not wait to put my uniform on. There's a pride that comes with putting that uniform on for the first time. Well, there's a pride that comes every time that I put that uniform on, but that very first time that I saw myself in the mirror was just such a special moment for me, because it was in that moment that I finally realised I was a student nurse, finally about to go out onto placement, but I think most importantly that I was finally in the right place and I knew it. So of course, getting my uniform had to make the top 10. Well, this was an exciting moment. It was an angioplasty, so in the grand surgical scheme of things, it was nothing massive, but it was my first surgery and I just could not wait to get down there. I held an example stent in my hands, this incredible piece of engineering, this really expensive piece of engineering. And then I got to see an actual one being put into the blood vessels of the patient I'd accompanied to theatres. And just seeing the instant difference that this stent had made to this patient's circulation was such a thrilling moment for me. But it was also a really special moment because it was the first time I saw a patient through from admission to discharge and then was involved with everything that happened in between. And I got to link so many pieces of knowledge by doing that. If you ever get a chance to go and see a surgery, whatever it is, go and do it because it is so exciting and so thrilling. So that's why going to my first surgery has made my top 10. Number 4. This is the first time where I gave independent care entirely off of my own initiative, and it's making my top 10 for a couple of reasons. The first one is that it taught me a really valuable lesson in speaking up. We're told to advocate on our patients' behalf, but if it's one thing that I've found, it's that student nurses don't always find it easy to speak up when they really need to. And so I'm really proud of myself that I put together a plan of care, went to the ward sister and got their permission and just went and got on with the job because I knew that it was in my patients' best interests if I did so. The second reason that it's making my top 10 is that later on in that same shift, the ward sister came up to me and said, "Deb, you wouldn't believe that you're a first year student nurse given the way that you have nursed today." What an empowering moment. I think sometimes we all need some words of affirmation, some pick-me-up words. And I think it's a moment which is going to stay with me for the rest of my nursing career. I think it's a moment that when I'm really low, I'm going to draw on and that says, "Hey Deb, you can do this. You are in the right place. Keep going." If you follow me on Twitter or you know me particularly well, you will know that I heart physiology. But guys, you'll also know that I started this year kind of dreading it, actually. But 12 months in, I really don't understand why I hated it so much. Like, I have fallen head over heels in love with how the body works. It excites me, it fascinates me, and it is 100% making me a better nurse for it. Like, how can I explain to a patient what their body is doing and why it's doing it if I first don't understand that knowledge myself? I also think that physiology is going to help me narrow down where my passion in nursing may lie. I kind of think it already has, and for that reason I'm excited. But I'm excited because I can't wait to learn more, I can't wait to understand more, and more importantly, I can't wait to be able to be that person in the middle who can translate the medical jargon into terms that patients are going to understand. So of course, me loving physiology had to make the top 10. Number 6 is Twitter. It's something that I really only started engaging with back in the summer, but I am so glad that I did. A bit like Team Duracell, at times Twitter has provided me with much needed support, encouragement and motivation, particularly over the last few months, because they have not been easy months for me. But you know, I love how engaged with social media the university in general is, but in particular the nursing team. What a force for good it is. It is so lovely seeing cohorts coming in behind me, seeing how excited they are, and at times being able to encourage them in much the way that I have felt encouraged these past few months. It's also really nice looking ahead to second years, to third years and beyond, to see what life is like as a registered nurse, but also what's coming my way in the next couple of years. Twitter is absolutely something that I'm going to continue to engage with because it can be such a source of positivity, and that's why Twitter has made my top 10. If there is something that I love almost as much as physiology, it is wound care. I've been really thankful this year to have been put into placements where wound care has formed part of my everyday. I have learnt so much this year about the wound healing process, about the relevant products for stages of wound healing, the difference that those products can make. I've had the utter satisfaction of removing surgical clips, and if you've ever done it, you know where I'm coming from. I've seen larvae therapy in action and the difference those tiny little creatures can make to a wound bed. And I have had the absolute thrill of being able to tell patients that the care that we have given to their chronic wounds has meant that their wounds have healed. Utterly satisfying, utterly interesting, absolutely a memorable moment. For the eagle-eyed among you, you will know that my friend Ben and I have been working as student ambassadors for SPACE since the summer. SPACE stands for Skills Practice and Care Enhancement, and I've so thoroughly enjoyed working with the technicians and with the academic staff to just share what a fantastic resource this little room is for our education and our university as a whole. If you've been up there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about and what a difference it can make to our education. If you don't, just know that for me, it's been a space where I've been able to go away from the pressure of the classroom and practice really, really important clinical skills that I do need to know inside and out, but which I don't always get straight away. A particular highlight for me was getting to go to the BCU Festival of Teaching back in the summer and presenting SPACE from a student perspective. Come the spring, there are even more exciting things that I'm going to be involved with, and I hope to blog about them really, really soon. Guys from SPACE, if you're watching this, thank you so much for your dedication, your passion and your enthusiasm, and I cannot wait to work with you more in the new year. Quite frankly, this was always going to make the list the minute that I held an actual heart in my actual hands. Oh boy. It's a tactile session, and for the first time I got to link theory to real life. Hey Deb, come over here, pick up this pair of inflated lungs and see how light they are. and then go over there and see what a bladder sphincter does, and just so much in between. It came at a time of year where I so desperately needed a pick-me-up, and for that I am really, really thankful. If you haven't booked onto one of these sessions yet, or you have and you're waiting to come on one, I am so excited for you. But then on top of all of that, to be asked to be the first student ambassador involved in delivering BCU Know Your Organs was just the cherry on top of my beautiful first year of nursing cake. I love what this session is doing for students. I love where this project is headed, and I cannot wait to see what happens with it in the new year. Hands down, one of my favourite moments of the entire year. So we made it! Number 10. This has been a year-long process for me, and it is by no means over. But before this course started, I was really content in my little bubble of comfortable. But if I have learned one major lesson from this past year, it's that I learn the most meaningful lessons when I am willing to step out of my comfort zone. It doesn't mean that it's always easy, and oftentimes it makes me anxious. But it has brought me to a place now where I can look ahead to things that are coming at me pretty soon and which genuinely petrify me. But I can look at them and go, Deb, feel the fear and do it anyway. Because I know that it's in those moments I am going to learn the most. It's helping me flourish, it's helping me grow, and it's a process which I hope carries on long into my career. And that's why I think it is the perfect way to round off my top 10, because it isn't over yet. So that's it, guys. Those are the moments which made my year the incredible year that it has turned out to be. I have found an excitement and a passion in me that I never knew existed before I started this course. But looking back, I know now that all of that is because I finally found my calling. Nursing is my calling, for sure. It is a joy, a thrill, and a privilege to care for people when they really need it the most. If you've followed my journey so far, thank you so much. And I really, really hope that you keep up with me as I continue to blog about my experiences, good and bad, as a student nurse. But for now, all that remains to be said is a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I will catch up with all of you really, really soon. Bye.